And we are live. Hello everybody and welcome to the virtual Chicagoland Speedway here for the Dark Horse Indycar Series Season 1 finale live on TMG. Joining me today in the broadcast booth, Connor Bloom. Connor, how are you doing today? Yeah, I think we should be in for a pretty good race. Again, this is the championship race of Season 1. We'll go and pull up the points on the right-hand side of your screen. You see Charles Teed leading the standings over Joe McAdory by 11 points. So Joe's going to have a pretty big margin to make up over Charles if he hopes to get this championship. You see Simon Grills there in third. I'm guessing at this point he's pretty much out of the championship. It would take basically a really big penalty coming to both the top two, which docks them an obscene amount of points for him to actually have a shot at this. But you see the battle there between your top two. Last week in Michigan, it was Benjamin Combs in the 77 who was able to walk away with the victory. I don't believe he's actually in the top 13 in the standings because I don't think he's made that many starts this season, but he's definitely going to be one driver to watch out for as this race goes on. One error in the points graphic that does say standings after race 8. That should say standings after race 9, as we are right now on race 10 for this championship race. Connor, what are you expecting out of this race? Yeah, that's definitely going to be one thing that we're going to have to watch out for, just the pressure on the championship drivers. You know, on one hand, you have Joe McAdory. He's trying to make up, I can't speak. He's trying to make up a lot of points on Charles. He's going to have a lot of pressure on him to perform well. And then there's Charles Teed trying to defend his championship lead. Coming into this, he should be the favorite. But in this series, you know, in iRacing in general, nothing is guaranteed. Absolutely. Fuel run is estimated to be about 30 laps. We're going to go over your championship clinching scenarios in just a moment. I think one thing that we're going to see that's going to be different from last week is that the tires are going to matter a lot more. Here at Chicagoland, you know, I mean, as you get later on in the run, you're going to have to lift a lot more. The surface is a lot bumpier than it was last week at Michigan, and I think we're going to see tire wear play a big factor in this race. I think once we get to around, you know, lap 27, 28, 29, even before then, I think we're really going to see these drivers sliding around, really working on the wheel, trying to get all the grip they can get. That's going to be one factor, pretty big factor in this race. Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a lot tighter radius as well. There's a lot more load on the tires. It's a lot higher banked. So I think we're in for a very, you know, on one hand, we're going to have a very action-packed race. These drivers are really fighting for the championship. And drivers who aren't fighting for the championship, you know, they're trying to get as high as they can get in the standings before this season closes out. It's something that I've dealt with in the past, really just being under a lot of pressure to maximize your race. And I think that's going to be something that a lot of these drivers are going to have to go through today. Practice is just about to wrap up, and then we're going to head into qualifying. That right there is Joe McAdory, currently second in the standings by 11 points. He is going to try and get the most out of that number 4 in qualifying. Practice has now wrapped up with Joe McAdory at the top of the board. Charles Teed winds up in 5th. Again, Charles is basically just going to be on the defensive. He's going to try not to get wrecked out, try and make really as much as he can out of this race. So there goes practice. It is time for qualifying. Yeah, that too. Another thing is, since it's really the end of the season, there's not much to lose. Like, you know, if you make a really aggressive move and you end up getting wrecked out, I mean, what are they going to suspend you with? You can't really, you know, you can't really get suspended over the offseason, right? Yeah, that might be true. You know, I didn't quite consider that. So here we go for qualifying. Charles Teed, right now the first driver onto the racetrack in that number 27 Valvoline IndyCar. Todd Schneider out as well, Jeffrey Duncan, AJ Hobson, Gary Corley, AJ Muzzleman, Benjamin Combs, last week's winner. Yeah. Next we're just going to see AJ, just first and last name. Here's AJ Muzzleman through 3 and 4, running about a lane off the bottom. He is going to come around to set his lap. He is going to go first fastest, but the only driver to set a lap. Benjamin Combs goes second quickest. We'll see who winds up in third. As Benjamin's just having a little bit of a network issue there. It's also going to be something to watch out for. It is iRacing. After all, that stuff can always happen. Yeah, that is very close, but now AJ Musselman back to the top of the board. So if your name is AJ, you're going to have a pretty good shot at winning. AJ Allmendinger, he won a cup race. I mean, it took him a while, but he did as well. I think he might have been. I know that he definitely did some open wheel stuff, but we're getting off topic. Still AJ Musselman at the top of the board over Combs, Schneider, Hobson, and Duncan. McAdory maybe thinking about going next. Well, good run by Duncan. Gonna upset the AJs and go first fastest. Pretty nice paint scheme as well as he slides to a stop there in turns. I believe that's 1 and 2. Time to beat. Yeah, the time to beat right now, a 24.745. See if anyone else decides to go out for a lap. Oh, there's one driver out. Gary Corley, top of the board with a 24.736. Good run by Corley. Another driver just went out. I believe that was Charles Teed. Right now, sitting 7th with a 25.370. What we've seen in the past. He's definitely a lot more of a racer than he is a qualifier. There he goes! I might have just done the opposite of a commentator's curse. Yeah, that, wow. I mean, there's always those drivers that can do both. Right now, Teed at the top of the board with a 24.718. Looks like these second laps definitely going a lot faster than the first one. Now, Peterson and Davies, the only two drivers yet to set a lap. Oh, there's one more, Eric Peterson. Yeah, Peterson to 8th, 25.468. What it's looking like is that these first laps, they really need the tires to get up to temperature before they can really set a faster lap. So we'll see if Peterson improves on this second lap. Connor. Peterson out of the top, 24.674. See if Max Davies can do anything about it. So right now, I am looking at the point system for this league. Championship clinching scenarios. You get 50 points if you win, 40 points if you finish second. So right now, if Charles Teed were to win, championship locked up, easily done. However, yeah, exactly. You know, he's got the dub secured if he gets the win. That's probably what he's going to be aiming after. However, if Joe McAdory wins, Charles is not going to be trailing in second. He's still going to be leading by 1 point. So I think Charles would need to finish third, and then it might be a tie. We're just going to find the rest of the standings here. That would make the most sense to me, yeah. Yeah, it's been a relatively short season if I'm not misinformed. I believe it's only been 10 races. It's in the title. I should have known that. Oh, new entry, Paul Jennings. It's going to be the 11th driver as Davies went 6th quickest. 6th. It's a hard word. I don't think they do. Yeah, it really would. You know, you're just driving along, you're in the lead, it's the last lap, all of a sudden just pop, your engine's dead. Oops! Sorry about that. So for those familiar with IndyCar, the championship format, the points format, is the exact same as they use in real life. So for third place, a driver would get 35 points. So if Teed were to finish third and McAdory were to win, then the championship would go to McAdory by 4 points. So we'll keep you updated on that as the race progresses. Wish iRacing had like a points as they run feature, but Math. It's time for big math. Yeah, outside of that, it's going to be 32 for 4th, 30 for 5th, and then 28 for 6th, and then I think it just goes down by 2 at that point until you get to 10th, and then it goes down by 1, but there's only 11 cars in the race, so I don't think that's going to be a very big issue. All right, so it's looking like Eric Peterson has the pole locked up. I believe that's the 2nd week in a row. So that he might be one of the drivers we were talking about earlier, who might be one of his strong suits might be qualifying. It's really not something that you see that often. A lot of people, they'll complain that they're not really strong in qualifying. They're a lot stronger in the race, but I think that Eric might be really the opposite. So qualifying wrapping up now. Eric Peterson on pole. We'll see how the race progresses from there. Yeah, it'll be... Yeah, we'll see how the track progresses throughout the night. That as well. Another thing that we have to consider is right now it's sundown. In the Chicagoland, I can't speak. That's going to be a big factor, too. Going into turns 3 and 4, that's going to be right in their eyes, so they definitely got to watch out for that. See right there, one of your championship contenders, Charles Teed, in the 27. There's McAdory loading up as well, all the way at the back of the grid. McAdory, one of those drivers who's definitely a lot better at racing than he is at qualifying, or it might just be intentional sandbagging. That's something that we see in real life as well. That too. Taking a look now at the view from the back of the grid for Joe McAdory. It's his championship to go out and win, and it's Charles's championship to lose. So it's going to be those two storylines clashing throughout the night. One of them is going to prevail. It's how it is in all championships. You don't really ever want to be the guy who said, hey, I finished 2nd in the championship, because it's just so much less cool than being the guy who won the championship. That's the only reason to win. Just cool. Well, then you get a video by the Iceberg on you, so there is that. Being the underdog is fun, but you know it's more fun winning. This is about to turn into a philosophy debate, and I love it. It's Charles there at the front of the grid, starting in 2nd. Oh yeah, they used to sponsor this race. That was, yeah, I want to say they stopped after 2016. Because imagine being the guy who won the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 400. Yeah, they are going to be rolling off now. I believe it's only one lap of pacing. It'll be Eric Peterson leading them off from the pole. We'll see when he decides to go. That's going to be another thing, too. Mastering the restarts. That is going to be a big factor. It could even determine the win or the loss. Yeah, I think that might be AJ. No, that's Jeffrey Duncan going to the back. Yes, that is. Yeah, he might have elected to take one of those. Yeah, I mean, you never really know how things are going to go into turn 1. The field's going to be bunched up. They're going to be on cold tires, or at least relatively cold tires. So, we'll see how this goes. That might be because these cars don't really have a lot of grip. So, yeah. I mean, they are Indy cars. They're not exactly known for their cold tire ability. All right, here we go. The championship race about to get underway here on TMG. A reminder of the points. They're there on the right side of your screen. 40 to the winner. Or sorry, 50 to the winner, 40 to 2nd, 35 to 3rd. We'll keep you updated on that throughout the night. Field in the hands of Eric Peterson. He is going to choose when to lead these cars to green. Coming down the front straightaway now. Green flag is out. Let's get this race started here on TMG. We are underway from Chicagoland. That's Peterson leading down through 1. Coming up behind him now is Gary Corley. Yeah, pretty big run of the slipstream. That's going to be something to watch out for as well. Definitely a bigger talking point at Michigan than it was here, but you never really know. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, on these mile-and-a-half tracks, you don't really have to lift that much. Even later on in the run, you don't have to lift too much. Nah. Nah, Corley's going to have that slipstream on the bottom, and that is really going to help him out. Yeah, aero sensitivity, that's a big thing with these Indy cars. Oh, here comes Corley looking for a move. Teed's there as well. There's kind of a 3-car breakaway at the front. Everyone kind of hugging that inside line. Can't imagine that's too good for tire wear. I mean, that is true. The fuel run is relatively short, only 30 laps. So we should be in for either a 2 or a 3 stop race. That's also going to be something to keep an eye out for. See. Yeah, these are some really nice cars. Peterson's got a nice car as well. It's very simple, but very nice. Here they come down the back. Yeah, that's kind of my style when I design paint schemes, but we've gone off topic. Here comes Charles Teed trying to make a run at the outside of Gary Corley. Corley still on the inside. He's going to have the slipstream, so Teed not really going to be able to mount a charge. Now here comes AJ Hobson. Hobson from 4th, gaining on Teed. Teed to the outside. We saw Charles trying to make these moves back at Michigan. He's going to try it again today. Yeah, kind of a 5-car breakaway at the front, similar to what 6-car breakaway at the front, similar to what we'd see at Daytona or Talladega, just a little bit more spread out. That's definitely going to change as this run goes on. Hobson now on the inside of Teed for 3rd. Yeah, you see Teed kind of trying to make a run at the high side, getting cut off by Corley. It's going to put Hobson back on the inside. Benjamin Combs there in 5th as well. Trying to make a move for 4th. Looking down the inside on Hobson. Looking now. He's alongside. We could do that. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see kind of how that progressed from qualifying. 24.7. 24.3 is the... Yeah, that's about 5/10 faster than what we saw in qualifying. That too. Hobson's definitely got some speed, but we'll see how that evolves over the course of this run. Hobson, just as we were talking about him, actually gets up into 3rd. Update on Joe McAdory. He's kind of running on his own right now. Maybe trying to save some tires, trying to save some fuel. He's kind of running in that draft, so he could definitely run maybe a partial throttle. That could be an interesting fuel-saving tactic. Yeah. This lead pack really running really close together. I mean, we saw last week at Michigan that fuel and strategy was really it played a big part in the outcome of the race. I mean, actually, the entire race was decided on fuel and strategy. Davies ran out of fuel in the last lap, if you remember that, and that handed the win to Benjamin Combs. So we'll see if something similar to that happens today. I mean, they could definitely try and cut it close. We'll see if anyone decides to go for the 2-stop. Exactly. Even better, you don't want to pit with 2 to go, and that's what happened to Davies last week at Michigan. No, it really doesn't. On board with Benjamin Combs, working his way around AJ Hobson, now getting up to the bumper of Gary Corley. We see already Combs just sliding up the track a little bit. It's going to give Hobson some momentum on the outside. Yeah, he might also be trying to save some tires, just trying to get down off the high line. That too. You see the track has really started to rubber in as well. It's gotten a lot darker since the start of this race. they are on lines for sure. Watch for Schneider. He's trying to make that inside line work as well. Currently in 5th. Peterson's... Yeah, we know Benjamin Combs a very aggressive racer. Sometimes that can not go in his favor as he's coming on the outside, actually, of Gary Corley. Big move. Now that inside lane's going to have to slipstream off Peterson, though. Yeah, Benjamin Combs, like I said, one of the more aggressive drivers in this league, so watch out for him as the night goes on. Here's Corley in second, still trying to make a charge at the lead. Here comes the pack down the back straightaway. Corley trailing Peterson. It's just kind of hard to get a run. You get a really big run. Oh, that's gonna be net code out of Benjamin Combs. Either that or he's already doing burnouts. Hobson that too. Hobson making a big arc out of the corner from the top side down low. Now following Corley towards turn 3. Corley to the outside on Peterson. He's going to fall back in line. Yeah, Connor did some studying before the race to make sure his terminology was correct. A fuel stint should be about 30 laps. Very fancy. Peterson leading still over Corley, coming to lap 17 of 100. We're getting into the range for the... Oh! Is that Schneider coming down the pit lane? No, he just had a very narrow exit off turn 4. I believe you mean had a bout of oversteer, but go on. In a 3 and 4. Here comes Corley trying to get a run. He's really lagging back through the center, but watch the run he's going to get down the straightaways. You can tell he's kind of backing out of the throttle there, just trying to save some fuel. And yeah, you definitely got to try and save fuel, especially when the run it's relatively short, only 30 laps. We're getting into the range where some drivers might consider short pitting. Yeah, might as well try it out now. Here comes Hobson to the outside, trying to make the move on Corley. He's not quite going to be clear, and that slipstream is going to help. It's going to help Corley down the back. No, it's not. Corley let him in. Corley in trouble. He's sliding up the track just a little bit, stacking up Teed. No, it does. Definitely does. Now that might just be the reflection, though. I think that might just be reflecting off the wheel, because I doubt these drivers would be using the brakes at all. Meanwhile, watch for Hobson. Yeah, he's making a run to the outside. Watch for Hobson here down the back. Hey, this is a new thing that I figured out I could do during the broadcast, and I'm going to make full use of rotating the camera. Here he goes, to the outside. He's going to try and make the move. Peterson on the inside. Nah, he just can't quite get that run. He's going to have to be alongside him, try and pinch him down through the turns. Yeah, I mean, after a while, though, that outside line might start to come into play. This is one of the... Yeah, this is one of the tracks where you can try and make multi-groove racing work. You could try switch back here in a 1, but Peterson just really defending that inside line, not making it easy for him. I don't think that's a thing in IndyCar, and I feel like we shouldn't try it. Nah, an open wheel car sounds easy. Oh, he's got to run now. Here he goes to the outside. It just can't quite make that move. I think he's going to have to pinch Peterson down a lot more than he has been in the past. He's going to have to fall in line again. I mean, he's certainly looking for it. You can tell that he's not giving up that run. But he's going to have to back out just for now. That might be it as well. I think that with that really tight line, you're putting a lot of pressure on the tires. So, or I guess pressure isn't the right word. Hobson's really trying to make that move work. He's side by side again, going into 3. That's the one place where that outside line is going to prevail. Update on the champion. Oh, loose down the front straightaway. That was Gary Corley. Very loose indeed. He got onto the apron. That does not bode well for the tires. I think he's one of the drivers who's really been using them up. We're going to take a look at a replay. Yeah, watch. Oh, he just clipped the apron. Yeah, that could have been very, very dangerous. Meanwhile, here goes Hobson again on the outside. Maybe you might even be able to use the banking. That's one thing that I've been able to use in the past at plate races, street stock races. I think they might be getting really close to the red line. He's got to try and use that banking, though. That's where a lot of his speed is going to come from. Welcome to physics on TMG. The track's starting to turn kind of a light pink as the sun continues to go down. See, Connor knows what he's talking about. They don't have to know that. Here he goes again, outside line for Hobson, trying to make it work. It's going to be a lot closer alongside. Yeah, these top two have really broken away from the rest of the pack. I got to imagine that Corley's probably holding up that second pack. Yeah, that got very close between Charles and Corley. Here goes Hobson again for the lead on the outside, coming to lap 30. This is when pit stops might continue. This is where they might start, yeah. Alright, pit info being pulled up in just a moment. That'll show up when these drivers actually come into the pits. Green flag pit stops as well. It's always a risk trying to get slowed down, especially when you're in front of someone. And you were saying? Yeah, right back to the outside again. Big swing down the banking through 1 and 2. I don't know if that was a mistake or if he was trying to push him up the track. Oh, Hobson got loose. That might have been a little bit of netcode contact. No damage to the splitter. And nobody coming in. Oh, here goes Hobson, outside line. Schneider McAdory into the pits now. Here goes Hobson for the lead on the outside of Peterson. And Peterson going into the pits. Yeah, Peterson's going into the pit lane. 1 second, I just gotta get the camera set up. This is the one problem with trying to use this fancy camera view, is that it doesn't quite lend itself well to switching back over. But now we're going to see Peterson into the pit lane, and I clicked on the wrong thing again. This is annoying. There's McAdory coming out. There's Peterson in the pits. I don't know why this camera angle exists. Hold on. There we go. He's in the pits. And iRacing likes to do this thing. So yeah, iRacing does this thing where the lead pit stall has a model of a pit crew. And my favorite part is when the guy who's doing the pit stops is just T-posing. Yeah, Peterson is extended to another level. Meanwhile, here comes Corley into the pit lane. Davey stays out, so does Muzzleman. Corley comes in. So does Teed and Hobson. Hobson going out now. McAdory's still out. Jeffrey Duncan out as well. Benjamin Combs is out. There's Peterson. Hobson right now, I think he's in 1 and 2. Peterson coming down the back. It's going to be close, but Hobson is going to beat Peterson out of the pits. Oh, and Davies might have just sped on pit road. You saw Davies locking it up down the pit lane. That might be a penalty coming his way. That too. Hobson is going to be back to second now, actually, as Peterson is going to inherit the lead. Now it's between Muzzleman and Davies, but both of them are in the pit lane. No, Corley's down to 6, so he is not going to be in the lead. It is going to be between Peterson and Hobson. Peterson's actually taking the lead over Hobson. Muzzleman's in 1 and 2 now. Here comes Peterson, but they are both going to beat him out, no contest. Oh, big run down the back. Here's Hobson to the outside. Sorry to cut you off there. I just saw Hobson coming with a huge run. Yeah, there isn't actually a push to pass button. It doesn't exist. I actually don't even know if it's modeled on iRacing at all. If it is, it's definitely not on ovals. Yeah. They should do that in NASCAR for the Daytona 500. We've introduced a push-to-pass system. Oh, Hobson to the outside. But that inside line, it's too strong in a 1. And on fresh tires, you don't really have to lift, so there isn't really much advantage to running that high line. Man, I'm trying to maybe prepare for a move later in the race. Long-term planning, it's very important. And in real life. See, we are educational. Hobson back on the outside. Trying to make a run off turn 2. He's going to have the run. It's definitely not going to be enough to get him too far alongside, though. He's going to fall back again. Yeah, I don't know if that outside line's really going to be good for tire wear. That's the one thing I'd worry about. And the line that Peterson's running, just hugging that white line, it's definitely not hurting him either. Yeah, I mean, I think he's led every lap of this race save for maybe 4 or 5. Back to the outside goes Hobson. Down the front straightaway, trying to sneak into that slipstream. Through 1 and 2, Hobson still on the high line, getting back in the draft. Side by side again towards turn 3. Just, it stalls out too much going into the turn. And then corner entry speed is going to be really important. For the championship, Charles Teed is still. Oh, I don't know who that was. I believe that's Gary Corley coming out. He might have had to serve a penalty. I believe he is 3rd in the championship, but that might just be a short pitting strategy, because I can't imagine that would be his lap 60 stop. Yeah, he's not in the field tonight. He's pretty much locked up in that spot anyways. Here comes Hobson again. Still trying to make a move work. Looking back from the number 36 of Peterson. Charles Teed is still beating McAdory, so right now it's Teed's championship. Peterson back to the high side. Yeah, they're definitely close. Well, not that close. They're close, just not that close. I mean, in NASCAR terms, that's like striking distance, but they don't use striking distance, so that would be F1. Alright, the point is there's a battle for the lead going on. So yeah, just an update on that. The gap between McAdory and Teed is 0.7 of a second right now. Yeah, what I noticed he did there is he dipped down to the bottom, got in the slipstream. Gearbox, that's too European. We need to say up to the bumper of the 36. That works. Yeah, Hobson I think he's got to get in that slipstream, specifically through 1 and 2. Because that's where I've noticed most of his runs coming. Yeah, no caution so far. We only saw 1 last week at Michigan. You might have seen 2. I think it was only 1. Hobson back to the outside. Trying to make that move for the lead down the back. Stalled out again. Oh, there's a battle right now on track. Teed and McAdory are 2 championship contenders. McAdory on the outside. This for 5th. Yeah, side by side as they go through turns 1 and 2. It'd only be a 2-point difference. They're going to need more than that. Teed holding on. McAdory back to the high side. A little bit of smoke up in front. I think that's just netcode. Side draft by the 4, trying to get down to the quarter panel of the 27, or wheel cover, I guess. It's close again. He's in striking distance. Outside lane. Here he goes. Oh, God. F1. Back to the outside. It's a close battle right now. What McAdory needs to do is get past Teed and set his sights on the cars in front of him. Then he can try and make as many points as he can on Teed and try and get this championship. To the outside again. You know, for a second I considered McAdory trying to go onto the apron, but then I remembered that that's actually not allowed, so. Yeah, let them race in the grass. That'd be more fun, I think. Yeah, racing in the grass would be fun, I think. Still side by side, going into turn number 3. McAdory still trying to make that high line work. No, he's pretty far alongside now. I think he's just got to move down the track a little bit. Try and, really, I wouldn't say side draft, but I'd say just kind of try and squeeze him down. Don't give him a lot of room on exit. Yes. Just, you know, give him a little nudge, push him onto the apron. Oh, here he goes, inside line. He'll have the inside for 1 and 2. I think he just slipped off. Yeah, McAdory saw the gap, he went for it, and up into 5th goes Joe McAdory. Yeah, back to the outside. Very close battle for 5th right now. We'll see if Teed tries to do what McAdory did to him. He's in that slipstream down the front straightaway. Yeah, Charles Teed, I think he might have conserved his tires a little bit. Speaking of tires, we're on lap 54, so we'll see if anyone... Most of these drivers right now only around 20, 21 laps into their stint, so I don't think they're going to be pitting. As here goes Teed back to the inside. McAdory, oh, he's back down the inside. Crossover out of the 4. Or should I say, the switchback. Teeter on the high side. I've seen most of these passes being made with a crossover off the turns and getting to the inside. McAdory slipped up. Yeah, just pressuring them. Really staying right behind them, getting right on their rear wing, not really giving them a lot of room. Right in that slipstream, you know, it's going to pressure them into a mistake eventually. Outside line for Teed again through 3 and 4. McAdory holds on. Here he goes to the outside. A little bit of a block from McAdory. Side by side through 1 and 2. Teed still trying the high line. Side by side as they go towards turn number 3. McAdory pushing him up the track. Coming to lap 58 of 100. Back to the battle for the lead. Hobson is making another run on the outside line. Trying to get to the inside on Peterson. He had to go high at the last minute there. Peterson slowing down. A little bit wiggly. Peterson's left the inside open again, but he's going to cover it off. No, Corley's in the pits. If anyone, it's Schneider. Yeah, they're not terribly far away from him. Peterson back to the high side. Or sorry, Hobson back to the high side. Down the front straightaway once more. Hobson trying to make a run work. Peterson staying on the inside. It's just still right on that white line. No one's been able to move him off it, but he's getting a little bit high down the back. If Hobson finds a run, he's going to have to take it. See right there, Peterson started to move up. Back on the outside is Hobson. Yeah, it's really that on corner entry where you see the inside line really making up most of their ground. Still looking back from the 36 onto Hobson. Yeah, it's just there's no room on the inside line. Hobson keeps having to try that outside. It's been a race-long battle between these two, about 2/3 of the way through this race. Yeah, it's going to be a lot darker. There's going to be a lot more traction. That could open up the outside line just a little bit. Oh, McAdory's up at a third. Oh, we got trouble. Benjamin Combs, he's having some network issues. Yeah, Benjamin Combs falling back through the field. Teed on his inside, trying to work up into fourth as McAdory is up into the podium places. Combs is falling back. Huge championship implications! Really, though, what McAdory wants is these top two to take each other out. Here goes Hobson, back to the outside. Oh, Peterson's pitting. Yeah, 36 is coming in. Hobson is going to take the lead now. Peterson going for the undercut. McAdory's coming in as well. I think he's trying to undercut Teed. So into the funny pit stall goes Eric Peterson. I don't know why iRacing chose to model a pit crew specifically in the leader's pit stall, but they did, and it's funny. Peterson in and out, 7.7 seconds with the stop. Now here comes Hobson. It's going to give Teed the race lead. Hoping for a caution now. Hobson's a little bit late into his box. Down and away goes Hobson. That's going to be an 8-second stop. I think that might just give Peterson back the lead. Watch them through 1 and 2. Watch on the apron for Hobson. There he is right there. Hobson's going to try and beat him out. Into 3 and 4. Hobson getting back up to speed. 30... Here he goes to the outside. 30-kilometer difference between the two. Peterson is going to take back the race lead with Musselman now out in front. He's got the field a lap down, but he does have to pit one more time. Yeah, it definitely worked for him last time. It almost put him up into third. He's actually staying out a little bit more. Trying to take advantage of those cold tires. Here goes Hobson again trying to make a move on Peterson. Teed, meanwhile, up into fourth, and McAdory, he's fallen back. He had an 8.5 second pit stop. He's going to have to rely on that long run pace and maybe some luck with the leaders taking each other out. Coming up in 2 laps time on 30 laps to go. You would think that, but when there's a win on the line and they're not fighting for a spot in the championship, they don't really have much to lose. See Peterson moving up the track just a little bit. We're going to have to ask him about his line in the post-race interviews, because he's really been experimenting with it quite a bit. It's what's kept in the lead this far. Take a look at this. He's just leaving that bottom lane open. It could give Hobson the chance to attack. That might be it. Teedsing it. No? Not funny? Okay. just a little bit. McAdory's up into fourth. Musselman is taken to the pit lane. McAdory into fourth now. He'll have Charles Teed to contend with. He's 1.6 seconds up the road. But McAdory is going to have some slipstream coming from Schneider. Peterson still in control. Watch for Hobson. Coming up on 29 laps remaining. It's been these two fighting for the lead all day. The championship contenders, they haven't really been in it. It's coming down to this last 30 laps underway here at Chicagoland. I mean, the first 70 have gone by really quickly. Here they come down the back. Watch for Hobson. Getting closer and closer to the rear wheels of Peterson. Just a tenth between them as they come across the line. Slow car going to be in the way. I can't quite tell who that is. I believe that's Max Davies. So now everyone from 5th on back is a lap down. Only 4 cars on the lead lap. And most of them aren't even on the same straightaways as the leaders. Kind of looking like a plate race in the 2011-2012 era. No, I like tandem drafting. I think it's cool. Coming up on 75 of 100. There is one green-white checkered attempt if we need it. Something tells me we won't. One advantage that Hobson's going to have now is he's going to have an arrow push coming from behind. Yeah, he's trying to switch up the draft. Yeah, we really haven't. He's doing it again, moving up high. I don't think that's going to play out for him very well. You see Hobson. The wheel is still... I'm not going to make that. We're not going to make that reference because we respect your brain. Oh, Hobson fell back that time by. He might be trying to line up a run. That too. Watch the wheel on Hobson. It's not exactly still. It's not going to help with his tire wear. Compared to Peterson, Peterson's being a lot more still with his wheel inputs. Compare them going into 1. That might be the dirty air a little bit as well. No! Down the front straightaway once again. Hobson about a tenth and a half back. He's got the run, though. That could be it as well. I think Peterson, I want to say that he might be running... He might be running a lower one, because that would explain why he would have to make his inputs smoother. Hobson might be running a higher one. That might be why his inputs are a little bit more drastic, and he can get away with it. We're going to have to be very, very specific. We're going to be like, okay, what exact steering ratio were you running? How many degrees of wheel rotation were you putting in? What was your steering offset? Another thing that we might be able to do here. Take a look at that left front suspension. We're taking a look at Peterson's. Watch Hobson's. Now watch how it goes through the turn. It looks pretty smooth. We can compare it to Peterson's as well. It's just that a little bit. It's just that little bit smoother. See that 3-car draft coming down the back straightaway, or I guess back curve. Not exactly a straightaway. It's a fun track, though. I hope they don't get rid of it. And if they do get rid of it, I hope they like build a short track in its place, because... No, you... Okay, well, you've been kicked out of the team. Bye. Alright, take a look at this run. Down the back, Hobson to the outside. Trying to pinch Peterson down. Keep in mind that their fuel run is only about 30 laps. A lot of these guys, they pitted around... Well, that's just completely inaccurate. It says they pitted around lap 2, which is not accurate. Oh, right. I forgot that I had a ticker for that. I was looking at my timing and scoring, which is inaccurate. Oh, here goes Hobson. He's got the lead. He's got the lead. Watch this in a 3. No, it's not. He's going to have a run, though. He's going to be a lot closer to Peterson. I think what he's got to do is he's just got to stay right in the slipstream of Peterson. He can't try and make a move. He's just got to stay right behind him. Well, there you go. I think what he kind of has to treat this as, if you've ever raced on iRacing and the ARCA cars at a plate track, you know that you have to get right, like, as close as you can to the bumper without hitting them, because then they're going to cause a massive wreck. That's what Hobson has to do right now. He's just got to put the pressure on. Hey, that's not a bad idea. You could just turn him. Benjamin Combs tried it last week. He went on to win the race, so. That's a joke, by the way. That was netcode. Oh my goodness, look at that! That got very close indeed between Hobson and Peterson through 3 and 4. 3 wide! Lap car on the outside. Hobson trying to move down the track. Yeah, I think Hobson might be listening into the broadcast. He is copying what we're saying just a little too much. In a 3, Hobson's going to try and squeeze him down again. Yeah, and notice how much closer Hobson is running than he was before. Before he'd run maybe 2 or 3 lanes up. He's running on the 2nd lane now. That is a lot closer to Peterson than it was before, and it's definitely working out for him. Take a look at this run. Coming up on 10 laps to go in a few laps' time. Oh, Peterson got on the apron! And he's got to slide! And he's got to spin it! Oh, that is not good for Peterson. He just drifted into the pit lane, and he's going to spin it around. I don't think that'll bring out a caution, but it's gonna get him out of contention. AJ Hobson into the lead. Peterson just choked this race away. All right, well, we're gonna take a look at a replay because that right there could have been the deciding factor of the race. Yeah, Peterson was just way too close to the apron going into the turn. That, looking at it again, that might have even been a failed pit attempt. He did. I mean, hey, you can't blame him. He did get to the pits. Yeah, but these Indy cars, they're just so unstable. Once you break them loose, I mean, if you overcorrect just a little bit, you are into the outside wall. I mean, you can say that for a lot of these iRacing cars, but specifically in the Indy cars, even the IR18s, they just act like that. We're going to take one more look at it as the field approaches 10 laps remaining. You're just going to see it on a 3. Peterson just got on the apron. I think what he was trying to do was get as far down the track as he could on Hobson, but yeah, he just clipped it. It brought him around. Yeah, he might have just... Well, it's close enough. Meanwhile, and this is getting pretty close, Charles Teed right now leading the championship battle over Joe McAdory. There are 2 tenths between them. Well, you say that, but finishing 2nd is going to yield 5 more points than finishing 3rd, and if something happens to Charles Teed, McAdory is going to need all of those points that he can get. Now, at this point, they're basically guaranteed to finish in the spot, because there are only 3 cars on the lead lap. So I don't think there's much at this point that McAdory can do to get the championship. He can try. He can get as close as he can get, but... I mean, even if he didn't, the best he could have done right here is 2nd. There are 10 seconds in between Charles Teed and AJ Hobson. That too. You never know when Hobson's just going to, get involved with one of these lap cars, get too low on the apron. Something could always happen to him. We're getting down to crunch time. The win at this point is basically handed to him, but there have been situations in the past where drivers have choked it away in the last remaining laps. Yeah, McAdory is actually falling off the bumper of Charles Teed. I think at this point he might just be content with riding around and finishing in third. But he's going to be kicking himself if Hobson ends up spinning out, which I don't think he's going to do. Yeah. He was able to make... I was just going to say that he was able to really run that higher line, the lane that is not preferred by any means, and try and get the lead over Peterson multiple times. He was able to make it work. He never really slipped up once, and I think that's going to pay off for him. We're coming down to 3 laps to go. Yeah, he might just be riding behind them. There's no point in trying to make a move on them. I've been in situations before where on the last lap, trying to make a move on the lap car put me in the outside wall, and it was the difference between winning and finishing third. You don't really want to make a move on a lap car if you don't have to. And he has a 12.7 second gap, so he is definitely not feeling the pressure. It's been extending by about a second each lap. That should go to show kind of what Hobson has been able to do today. 3 to go. Meanwhile, for the championship, Charles Teed, we weren't able to cover the first 8 races of the season, but this points championship, you know, it rewards consistency, it rewards being the best driver all season. Charles Teed has played to this format the best that he could. He is going to come out a champion once this is all said and done. McAdory 5.5 seconds back. There is nothing he can do. You are looking right there at your Season 1 champion, Charles Teed. Meanwhile... yeah, we might have something to say about that in the next week or so. Hint, the answer is yes. Anyways. One to go, this time by AJ Hobson. He has been perfect all day. He was able to capitalize on the misfortune of Peterson, and in the end, that is what made the difference between him and the 36. AJ Hobson has been perfect all day, and he is going to come home a winner. No, you're ruining the finish. AJ Hobson is the winner at Chicagoland. Meanwhile, the driver who has been the best all season, Charles Teed, might be out of fuel. He's slow through 3 and 4. This could be close. McAdory had to bring it into the pits, though. So Charles Teed, on fumes, is going to come home the Season 1 champion. Checkered flag to the 27. He is going to take it in Season 1. Hobson, your winner. Teed second, and Joe McAdory rounds out the podium. Checkered flag. The season is done. Hobson, your winner. I think he's going to try and burn it down the front straightaway, but I don't think he's going to be able to have much left. He might be out of fuel. Oh, no, he's going to try. Well, he gave us a little bit of smoke, but I think the car is killed. Might try it again. And I think he's just going to try and coast it at this point. So that is going to do it for race 10 of 10. The season is over. AJ Hobson is your winner. Charles Teed, your champion. McAdory is going to come up just short in the end. He had the points lead going into race 8 at Michigan. But he was not able to capitalize during that race, was not able to capitalize during this race, and he is only going to be able to roll home in third. We're going to cut away for just a moment, and we will be right back with your post-race interviews. Don't go anywhere because the Dark Horse Indy Racing League is going to be right back after this. So we're back live here on TMG with your two championship contenders and your champion Charles Teed and Joe McAdory. Guys, it was really fun watching you battle throughout the last portion of the race there. But in the end, what do you think was the difference between you two, and what kind of made the difference and gave Charles the title? So in the end, it was kind of a mistake that gave you the second place finish. Yeah, I gotta say, this is something that I haven't really seen in a lot of other leagues that I've covered. You know, a lot of them, this one's very competitive. I know that you guys, you definitely put your best foot forward every time that green flag flies. But something that I haven't really seen is just kind of the respect between you two. It's been really nice to see. How do you think that affected the season? Yeah, it is unfortunate that we weren't, we weren't really able to cover most of the season, but I'm sure that it was a season full of action-packed excitement. We're going to be actually covering this series next season as well. That'll be starting, I want to say that's starting like mid-October? October 7th, yeah. I don't think... I don't even think Connor even has iRacing. He was commentating over a stream this whole time, which, by the way, he did a very good job at. Yeah. Hey, we gotta thank you for reaching out to me, reaching out to all of TMG. I gotta give a big thank you to Connor and Luke. They've been the broadcasters for the past 2 weeks. Connor, I actually think this is this is only your second broadcast, really the first serious one that you did. You did a really good job. Charles and Joe, you guys put on a great show. I'm sure that the racing throughout the season was absolutely phenomenal. Sucks that we couldn't cover more about it, more of it, but thank you for joining us for these last two races. You guys got anything else to say before we sign out the cast? What did I call it that? Okay, we're gonna forget I said that. Speaking of Max, he's here now. Max, thank you for organizing these races. Thank you for organizing this league. It's been a lot of fun covering it. You got anything else to say before we end up season one? Oh, nice, nice. And hey, anything else that you guys maybe would like to give us a little sneak peek of for Season 2? Nice. Hey! Alright, well, thank you guys for putting these races on, and thank you for allowing us to broadcast it. It's been a lot of fun over the past 2 weeks. We're very excited to have you back for Season 2 and your Indy 500 in December. But now we are officially going to be signing out the broadcast, or as I for some reason called it, the cast. Pretend I didn't say that, because no. The cast with Jonathan Oates and Connor Bloom. But yeah, we are going to be signing out this broadcast for TMG. This has been Jonathan Oates, Connor Bloom, and joining us in the interviews, it's been Charles Teed, Joe McAdory, and Max Davies with a mistake entry in the end, but he provided us with some entertainment, so thank you, Max. Alright, we're going to be signing out, guys. I hope you all have a good one, and we will see you all October 7th for Season 2 of the Dark Horse Indy League. Goodbye, everybody.